Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a little different. Basically, I have just been going through life. If you've watched any of my videos, mostly on all of them, I talk about losing my family in the year of 2019. I lost my mom in March, and I lost my grandparents both in October. And that was such a traumatic time for me in my life. My mom was just 59. My granddaddy was 86, and my grandmother was 84. So they definitely were blessed to live a long, healthy life. My mom, not so much. I feel like 59 is so young, and I literally just had my daughter in 2018, and she had just turned 1 2 months before my mom passed. So that was extremely hard on me to know that my daughter will never remember her, because she just wasn't old enough to. My son was 8, no, 7, no, 8. I don't know, I can't even think. Doesn't matter. He spent a lot of time with my mom though, so he'll definitely have memories and all of that. I guess I'll just make this video about them for right now. So my mom never really got sick a lot, and I didn't know that she was sick. So I was supposed to work a different shift that Saturday, because that following Wednesday we were supposed to leave to go visit my husband in Washington during his deployment. And that Thursday was the Reds opening day, the Cincinnati Reds opening day. So I went down for that. I dropped my daughter off to her, and she seemed fine to me. And then that Friday, I kept calling her, and she would just get off the phone really quick, and she kind of sounded short of breath, but I just thought she must be tired. So I didn't think anything of it. And then that night, I don't know, I'm getting ready to cry thinking about it. That night, she came to my house. I live in Kentucky. And she came, and her lips kind of looked blue. She didn't really look herself. She didn't really ever look like that. So it kind of threw me off. You know how if you've experienced something before, then you kind of know what to do. I've never seen anyone look like that, so I just assumed that she was dehydrated. I got her something to drink. Okay, sorry about that. My daughter hair look crazy. I can't do hair. But she just woke up from her nap. So, anywho, I got her something to drink, asked her had she eaten. She said no. Mind you, she's talking. We're having a normal conversation. She's not delusional. She's not saying things that don't make sense. We're holding a very normal conversation. And I had warmed her up some Red Lobster. I had some shrimp and noodles from Red Lobster. All right, coughing on my face. So I warmed that up for her, and she didn't really eat it. But she was drinking water. She was in my daughter's room, so she would stay and keep my daughter while I worked because my husband was deployed and I don't have family in Kentucky. So my mom would come and she had a blow-up mattress in my daughter's closet just for, you know, days that she didn't want to drive back home. She would spend the night. So we blew up the mattress. She laid down. She grabbed the back of her legs and just, I don't even know how to explain the sound, but just was, ooh, ah, ooh. And I'm like, what's wrong? What's going on? And she just said her legs hurt. They were cramping. Never had experienced her say anything about that before. I went and got her an ice pack. I don't know if that was the right or wrong thing to do, but I went and got her an ice pack. She put that on her legs. She seemed to calm down with the moaning. And I went downstairs to my room. And I just thanked God for allowing her to make it to my house because I could tell that she was in pain. And when she was doing all that moaning, I asked her, I said, stop. I asked her, I said, do you want me to call 911? She said no. Now, mind you, because she's able to talk clearly, I'm just going off of what she's saying. And when you think about, y'all gotta excuse my baby, she look crazy. When you think about death, maybe this is just me, but when I thought about death, I thought that it would be a telltale sign. Someone would just be screaming in agony. You would just know that you needed to get them help. But I didn't. And your booty hit your booty?
Yeah.
Okay, you got to sit down.
Okay.
But I didn't know. So I remember I was up online contemplating about a laptop that I wanted to buy. So I ordered it. I went back upstairs. It was like 3 in the morning. I couldn't sleep. Like 3 in the morning, something told me. I don't know why I couldn't sleep. Something told me, like, go check, on your mom. I went to go check on her. She was in the bed, and she was just like, I told you to go to bed. You gonna be tired in the morning, because I had to be to work. Let me turn it down. Because I had to be to work in the morning. So, her alarm actually woke me up, and I sat there for like a minute, and I'm like, why she don't hear her alarm? Why isn't she cutting her alarm off? She set her alarm because she didn't have intentions on coming to my house that night. She was going to drive over in the morning. So I get up and I see her in the bed. At some point throughout the night, she had taken all of her clothes off. And she looked stiff. Her body looked like it had been in that position for a while. And her eyes were open. I kept saying, Mama, Mama. Nothing moved. So I moved her arm and it felt stiff. So then I felt her feet and they felt cold. Not icicle cold, just not body temperature warm. So then I moved her arm and I felt that, and that did feel warm. But I'm assuming it was warm because it was laying on a blanket. So I called 911. I had my daughter in my arms. I called 911 and they asked me to start CPR, and I couldn't. I physically could not get on top of her and do that. And the paramedic, this probably is just their job. I mean, not the paramedic, but 911 dispatcher, this is probably just their job. I told her I can't. And she kind of asked, like, are you refusing? And I'm like, I have my daughter who is 1 and 2 months. If I put her down, she's going to start crying. If she start crying, my son is going to come in and see me. I can't put that on my children. I can't do that. Okay, I'll get you some in a minute. And that, I hope that doesn't offend anybody. I hope nobody watching this video is like, she's cruel, something's wrong. I just, okay, I'm gonna get it. I just couldn't do it. So she stayed on the phone with me till 911 got there. They came. I honestly don't even remember how many people were there. I think 3. I remember a lady taking me and my daughter into my son's room. And then I could hear them asking, well, they asked me, what is your mom's name? I told them. I could hear them repeating her name. They asked me for her wallet. How old is she? And I couldn't think. I couldn't. So I finally found her wallet, give them her ID. They figure out how old she is. The lady comes back in the room with me and my kids and just tells me to pray. She said if I believe in God, to pray. So I began to pray. They had moved my mom from my daughter's room to the hallway between my kitchen and living room. And I could hear the machine just keep repeating, no pulse found, begin CPR, no pulse found, begin CPR. It just repeated, it just kept. And I knew then that I was not gonna have the outcome that I wanted. But I remained calm. I called my aunt, and I honestly don't even remember what I told her, because I just remember her screaming, and she must have threw the phone because she never said anything else. So my uncle and my aunt drove over to Kentucky and they met us at the hospital. I couldn't ride in the ambulance because I had my kids, so I had to hurry up and give them something to eat. I think they ate a waffle. And I rushed over to the hospital. Okay. They put me in a room. And I've been to the hospital plenty of times because my granddad and grandmother throughout their life had been in and out of the hospitals. I had never been put in this type of room. It was like a waiting area, but in private. You were away from everyone else. And it gave me an eerie feeling, but I already knew something wasn't right. But just them placing me in that room, I guess just let me know it's not gonna be a good outcome. So my family gets there. They ask me to go back. The doctors had some questions for me. So I go back. My mom is on a table. They are doing CPR. I see them trying to draw blood. It was just a lot. It was extremely overwhelming to see. They just said they were going to keep working. So I come back out. We went back in and out of that room about 3 or 4 times. And a doctor had came in the room and he told me that as many times that they have brung her back, as soon as the medicine wears off, whatever medicine that is that they're giving her to bring her back, as soon as it wears off, her heart stops beating on its own again. And basically they're saying that because of how many times this has happened, even if they get her settled, she probably will be brain dead. So I had to make a choice because I'm the only child, and I'm the next of kin. Because I'm the only child, I had to make a decision for them to stop resuscitating. And that was the hardest thing I have ever done in my life, was go back and tell them it's okay. Because I felt like I was giving up. I felt like, you know how you see those,
You okay?
yeah, I'm okay. I love you too. You know how you see those movies where, you know, they tell them that it's too late and then a miracle happens. And I felt like I was making the wrong choice, but I knew that if she was brain dead, that's not living. That's not the life that she would want to live. Not being able to do anything and being on a machine. So I had to, you know, tell them that it was okay to stop. And then I lost it. So let me back up a little. When the doctor came in and said, you know, that she would be brain dead, basically that we needed to stop trying to resuscitate. They stepped out for a minute and I just screamed, not my mama, not my mama.
But not my mama.
Because I felt
Before.
lonely. You know, there's no love like your mother's love. And that's all I got. I don't know my dad. I couldn't even tell you what he looks like. I just know a name. I've literally never met that man in my life, or I saw a picture. Okay, wait a minute.
Go, Mommy.
So that was my life with my mom. We were like best friends. I'm gonna go get her some fruit snacks and come back. All right, she got her fruit snacks.
That's my portrait.
So I just fell out crying, and my uncle and my aunts just held me and just told me, you know, I'm never alone, and they got me and they'll help. But the reason I felt so lonely is because my husband was deployed, but we weren't even on good terms. So he wasn't even being supportive before this. So what would it be like after? I still had to work. I still had to get my son to school. I still had to have someone keep my daughter, because that's what my mom was doing, was watching her while I worked. I had to figure my whole life, literally my whole life, out. And it was just an overwhelming feeling to have. But high five. But I did it in the end. I got everything all figured out. And I left the hospital. I went to my grandparents' home and I just ran to my grandma and just cried. And she just told me, baby, you gotta stop crying.
Okay.
And I'm like, huh? But I know now that she was just saying, it's gonna be okay and you're gonna get through it. But it was heart-wrenching to watch them, my grandparents, at my mom's service, because that ain't how that's supposed to happen. Your child, you're not supposed to bury your child.
Okay.
It's just, it ain't, you know, that's not how it's supposed to go. And I literally felt like I had lost a baby.
A baby
That's
coming.
really how it felt by losing my mom. Because like I said, we were like two peas in a pod. We did everything together. We went everywhere together. I could talk to her about anything. She was a very, very open person, open-minded. I felt like I lost a child. I felt like it was a literal hole in my heart. That night, my aunt asked me, so are you okay to go home? Because my mom passed away in my home. She was deceased when the paramedics got there. They just gave her some sort of medicine to get a pulse going so they could leave. And I really do believe that the paramedics saw that I was just there alone. And I told her I don't have no family here, because she asked me, like, can somebody come here? Okay, can somebody come here and drive you? All right, not right now. And drive you to the hospital. I'm like, no, there's nobody in Kentucky that can help me. So I think that they gave my mom that medicine just so I didn't have to be there alone with my mama and wait on, I can't even talk, hold on, and wait on the paramedics to come. I mean, not the paramedics, the coroner, because I don't know how it is in the states that you all live in, but in the state of Ohio and Kentucky, if they come on the scene and someone is deceased, they don't take them anywhere. They leave them there. They give you the number to the coroner. You have to call the coroner, and they'll come pick up the body, which I couldn't do that with my kids. Like, I think she knew that, and that's why she did what she did. But that night, I came home because I really did think that I could do it. I really thought it didn't bother me at all that my mom had passed away in my home. That did not bother me. But my mother-in-law got my son from the hospital, but I kept my daughter. And so it was just me and Jacoby at the house. A good friend of mine came over and we talked for a while. And when she left, I got in the shower and went downstairs in my room to go to bed, and I couldn't. I literally got in a fetal position and just screamed, "Mama, Mama." What? Like, I just could not grasp that I would never ever see her again. My mind could not grasp that at all. I literally just cried for her. That's all I could do. I didn't even have words to say. I just kept saying, "I love you." I couldn't think of anything else to do at that point. I remember calling my husband and him just listening to me cry. And I woke up and I think the phone was still going. I just hung up, but we both were asleep. But he literally just listened to me cry. The next day, I don't even know what these people's name is, but they you donate body parts for people to study on or whatever. So they actually called me like a couple hours after my mom was pronounced deceased. And I felt like that was very insensitive, but they explained, everything is time sensitive once a body is deceased to take these parts. I asked them to call me back the next day. They called me bright and early. I want to say at 8 o'clock in the morning. I allowed them. No. That's what she was asking me questions about my mom's health and all of that. Then she called me back a couple hours later and told me that they couldn't take any of her body parts because my mom had a sepsis. I think that's the right word. And I was so lost and confused. Like, what are you talking about? So then I Googled it, and it's an infection in the bloodstream that causes a fatal organ to fail. When I got my mom's death certificate back, the fatal organ that failed was her heart. She suffered from a heart attack in her sleep because of the infection in her blood. You can get sepsis from what I read, from an open wound, and then the infection gets inside the wound and then it infects the blood. So that's what happened. Nothing was giving me comfort or peace. I was just going through the day-to-day life, and I had been really wanting a reading though. I had never had one before. Me and my husband's 4-year wedding anniversary. Was it 4 or 3? Doesn't matter. Our wedding anniversary was April the 30th. And we went to Vegas. And I got a little reading there. But it didn't hit. So then I came to work, told my friend about the reading, and then she told me that one of her friends had one and it was life-changing. She spoke to her parents. Both her parents had passed at separate times. She spoke to her parents and it gave her closure. And I'm like, sign me up. What's the lady's info? I need it. I did it. I signed up. My friend came to my house that night. Or that evening. I think I did my reading at like 7. I asked my husband to take my kids and just go anywhere. I didn't care where. But I wanted to do that reading.
Mommy.
Yeah. My daughter. 1 second. Okay, the door is open. I wanted to...
What does do?
Yes, it's pencil sharpener. I'm so sorry. She keep interrupting this video. I should have did
This
it.
is from it.
But we did the reading. When I tell y'all, it changed my life. It changed my life. I have to find the notebook where I wrote down everything. But my friend recorded it, and I, wrote down basically everything we talked about. But some things that, if y'all want to know more specifics, I'll do a separate video on my reading. But how I knew, we talked about a lot of things. She hit home on a lot of things. But how I knew she was legit and it was real was because it's funny. I think I signed up to do an hour-long read, and we stayed on the phone almost 2 hours. She didn't charge me any extra. We had completed my reading, though, and we had started talking about how she got this, I don't know what you call it, this gift. We talked about that. She talked about other readings that she had done for other people. We were just done talking about me. Randomly at the end, she was like, do you know what your mom's favorite color? No, do you know what your mom's favorite flower is? And I told her, no, I didn't. She told me what it was, and I honestly forgot, but she told me that it was a purple and white flower. And I told her, before she told me what the colors were of the flower, I told her that it really ate away at me, that I had no idea when it was time to do my mom's floral arrangement, her spray. I had no idea what colors to pick, what was her favorite colors, what was she like, would she even like these type of flowers together? I couldn't think, and it ate away at me. I felt like I failed her in some way because I didn't know. And you're going away. You want things how you want them, or things that you like. Okay, wait a minute. You want things that you like, and I honestly Stop it. Couldn't think of that. Okay, I'm gonna have to wrap this up because she's not gonna leave me alone. Okay, wait. Here I come. So at the very end, I was telling her that it ate me away, and so let me say this. In my mama's floral arrangements, the colors that I picked were purple, pink, white, and yellow. I didn't feel like saying that those were the colors. So after she had told me her favorite flower, I told her, yeah. So her spray. Y'all, somebody know the right word. Was all purple. And she was like, yeah, your mom said she loved how you had the yellow and the pink. I fell the F out. Fell out. There's no way on earth that woman could have known the other colors. I specifically told her that it was just all purple. I specifically said that just because I didn't feel like saying all the other colors I put in there. And she told me, no, your mom said she loved it. You did such a good job. She loved how you had the pink and the yellow in there. So that validated everything that we discussed was legit. Because there's no way, like I said, there's no way on earth you could have known that. And I've done 4 more readings with her since then. And every time I talk to her, she hits on point. And it's funny because I was supposed to go to, well, I did. I went to Miami, and my hairdresser couldn't do my hair because he had COVID. So I had to go to someone else. And I had been to this young lady before, years ago. I went back to her. Funny, her name is Jasmine. We have the same name. We spell it the same. Jasmine, just in case y'all was wondering. I'm a social butterfly. I'll talk to anybody. And I'm just telling her life, things that I done been through. My son, we both have boys. And I discussed my son being ADHD and just telling her, don't be ashamed of that. Don't let people make you feel like you're not a good mother if you decide to place your child on medicine. You know, we just talking. I tell her about the reading. I give her the lady's information. She doesn't say that she's going to call or anything, but she texted me the very next day and just told me that she was so grateful that I was so open when we were talking, because she called the lady, her name is Mary Frances, and she got closure, and that just warmed my heart. And she also told me that I got a warm spirit about me, and I had been hearing that a lot at that time. And it's so crazy that I give that off because I have so much hurt. I have so much pain inside of me, but I still exude positivity. I still am fun to be around. I'm still uplifting. I still give the best version of myself that I can, even though I just feel like I have a very dark cloud around me of emotional things that I've been through. So I don't even know how to end it, but I'm just going to end the video here. I just did this video because I have a lot of things on my mind, and I just want to talk. I want to help others. I hope this video can help someone else. And that's it. I just want to be open. So I hope you all have a wonderful and blessed evening. Bye-bye.